Mr. Jack Wordley, a hard-working, skeptical man, stood outside of his vandalized bungalow with a look of shock and awe on his face. The front door had been left open for all the quiet neighbors to see, not to see that he had so much value to begin with. He took a search for anything that could be vandal that had taken, seeing nothing out of the ordinary, but certainly nothing important missing from his home. Tired and confused about the horror ordeal, he was finally able to fall asleep late that night while scanning the web for any related news stories on his brand new computer. He was awoken by the dull sounds of his alarm clock in the other room. His tired mind trick had come to the conclusion that it might have been just a random act. It was not the last time he'd seen. However, as the same thing happened day after day when he came home from work. Every time he would leave the house, door would be wide open, even if he left for an hour to head to town. Full of questions and lacking answers, the middle-aged man got an idea to capture the vandal that had been breaking in. He had hooked up several surveillance cameras all over his home, pointing the first to the door throughout the hallways. He placed most of them inside of his guest room, where he had his computer, as it was obviously the most expensive thing in the house. Proud of his job after making sure everything was in order, he swiftly slept the night away and was anxious to come home from work the next day, find nothing outside of the ordinary when he came home and saw the door wide open again. He sat at his computer to review the footage he had taken. The footage of this front door revealed to be the vandal, if it could be called such. The picture was fuzzy, but from the short distance, it was easy to make out just how dark the creature's skin was. It was as if through its body were made out of black veins and smoke. The 2 second-red eyes inside of deformed, bubbleless head. It walked to the home, where he was watched, and he thought for sure that the camera was malfunctioning, yet he could not bring himself to look away. The figure walked all around the home, and had touched the carpet with its dark claws. It seemed to have reached inside every mirror, like if it were a puddle of water. Jack kept watching and furrowing his brow, seeing the monstrosity blink several times before creeping into the guest room. Jack kept watching, sweat running down his brow, and he even switched cameras and switched the creature open closet. Jack could feel his heartbeat slow down as he heard the closet door of him slowly opened. Well, my pretties, that was Jack Worldly, a creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story? I gotta say, this one actually was not that bad. It was actually a pretty interesting and neat creepypasta. So I definitely gotta say, this story was, well, an older one, and I remember Frost Pasta read this one. I mean, I came across Frost Pasta who read this story maybe about 2018, but at the time I was somewhat starting to get into creepypastas. The same with Creepypasta Detective, who also read this story. I gotta say, I mean, I honestly thought this was a pretty interesting concept for a story. It does have somewhat of an interesting detail, an interesting concept. I honestly can say right now, this honestly wasn't bad at all. I honestly found how, amazing this pasta honestly is. It does leave me questions of what happened to this Jack Worldly person. Like, did he die? Did he get kidnapped? Whatever was happening. I mean, it's hard to say. But like I said, well, it kind of really depends on what actually will happen next, because I'm honestly curious now as to, what it is or what's going on. But, like I said, I am going to be saying here and saying this right now. This is somewhat, of a pretty good pasta. I mean, the grammar, I honestly thought it was good, as well as the good sentence structuring, storyline. I mean, it does leave me some questions of what happens to this Jack person, but all we can do is, make up a conclusion of what happened. I would like to think Jack got out fine and nothing happened, but like I said, it's hard to say because it could be possible that it could be happening, but it could be possible that he is, still around or something. I would hate to think of the unfortunate, but like I'm just gonna say, I really gotta be completely honest that this story honestly has me a few questions as to, what actually happened to, well, what happened to this Jack person, the protagonist of the story. But like I said, I mean, the only thing I could say that would like to see if this story was ever to get rewritten or something is maybe a conclusion of what happens to Jack Worldly. Like, did he die or something? At least that way, that would give us at least an explanation of what actually happened. And that way, it would be more believable, but it would make much more sense. That's just at least from what I'm seeing personally. But you guys can, maybe say what you guys want to think. Like, maybe you guys can come up with your own conclusion as to what happened or something, because I like to know what you guys think. So anyways, with that being said, I don't know who the original author of the story is, so to the author of the story, if you do somehow come across this video and you're the author of it, I'll be sure to give you proper credit in the description and all that. So as of now, since I don't know who the author is, I'm going to leave it as anonymous for now until I find out who the original author is. So with that being said, with that being the case, like I said, this is just my own personal opinion. If you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. And this is simply my own personal thoughts. I give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty good one. But I would like to, wonder what happened to this Jack Wordley person. Like, did he die? Did he somehow made it out alive? What happened to him is honestly a question am curious to know. Maybe if the author finds this video, maybe he or she can maybe explain it in the comments about it, because that would definitely help us out a whole lot. But with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better. Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.